Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's your friend Betts. My name is Jared, and today I want to talk about DC's black problem. And it is a problem, and it's not as simple as everyone seems to be making it out to be. So recently, I had seen I don't know what you want to call it, a reel, a TikTok, a short, whatever. I saw it on, I think, Instagram, and I saw a lot of the popular TikToker, comic book influencers all kind of saying the same thing. It's like, it's been 1,000 days. It's been 1,000 days. It's been 1,000 days. I was like, okay, well, 1,000 days since what? And then it got to it, and it was like, it's 1,000 days since DC had an ongoing black superhero book. And I guess this sounds terrible, but in my mind, I'm like, that's not that long ago. and, and here's the thing. If you know what I look like, I am a blonde-haired, blue-eyed white guy with a ginger beard. I come from a upper middle class family, raised Catholic, turned Christian. I am generic American vanilla who grew up reading comics. And I will be very transparent here. There are a good handful, not a lot, but a good handful of black superheroes that I just adore. One of the comic books that got me into comics is Spawn. He's black, right? And growing up, the 1993 original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, Zach was my favorite. So, think I'm 8 years old, and my favorite Power Ranger was the black guy with the big flat top doing dance moves, doing karate and breakdancing at the same time. I loved it. So we can jump to the future where I remember I was a huge Ultimate Spider-Man fan. I would buy that book the day it came out every month. And I remember when Childish Gambino, was his real name, Donald Glover, was like, I wish I could play Spider-Man, and the internet being really upset, being like, no, Spider-Man is white. And Bendis going, haha, I'm going to kill Spider-Man and make him black. I remember being very excited excited in the sense of the story and really being moved by Peter Parker's death and also the creation and new direction of Ultimate Spider-Man with Miles Morales. I was very excited back in, what was that, like 2011, something like that. And around that same time, New 52 was coming out, and it wasn't the David something Batwing, but when Jimmy Palmiotti and Mick Gray was it Mick Gray? Is that his name? No, I think Mick Gray's from Slipknot. But Jimmy Palmiotti and his writing partner, something Gray, and Eduardo Panisca was doing the Luke Fox Batwing. I loved that comic. That comic was incredible. If you have not read it, you should read it. It is fantastic. And when DC announced that in future state there was going to be a black man as Batman, my mind goes, oh, cool. It's going to be Luke Fox. And because his book was canceled because no one was really reading it, except for me, it seemed like, I thought they were going to put him in the position of Batman and really be able to show him as a character that I appreciated in his ongoing book, and like put some shine on Luke and make him Batman. So then when he goes back, because inevitably he was going to become Batwing again. And when he turned back to Batwing, people would like him more. But instead, we got Timothy Jace Fox, out of nowhere. And they were like, don't you like this? And they just kind of created a new character who's technically not a new character, but an old character that was just kind of in the background of Batman comics in the 70s and 80s. And they were like, he's Batman now. And it was like, yeah, that don't feel right. It didn't feel right. Like, and the story that they told also didn't feel right. And the creative team that they got for it, Dan Moore's artist, was it? No, it wasn't Dan Moore. Dan Moore did the Bruce Wayne Future State stuff. Whoever did, I don't remember who did it. It just didn't click, right? And another book back during like the New 52 era was the We Are Robin book. And I was really invested in Duke Thomas. I was like, oh yeah, I'm really excited what they're going to do with Duke Thomas. And I got pretty much everything that I could at the time with him in it, with We Are Robin and any of the issues where he would appear in Batman. I had all of them and still do. And then when The Signal came out, I bought that book up and was really excited about it with Scott Snyder on it. And then it just kind of fizzled away. And now Duke Thomas is just kind of always in the background again. And so is Batwing. And here's the problem, right? Is that, yeah, DC does have a black superhero problem. And their problem is the fans are not buying it. And why aren't the fans buying it? I would say, in my opinion, because there isn't a creative team that gets fans excited about a black superhero. And, I'm sorry, and I don't mean this disrespectfully, but sometimes just because you look like the character doesn't mean you're the person for the job. It's just the way it is. I'm sorry, but when I don't know, Greg Rucka doesn't look like a army brat, red-headed lesbian. But you know what? Greg Rucka is the best Batwoman writer, in my personal opinion. But like when it's not Greg Rucka, I'm like, yeah, it's okay, I guess. It could be better. But when it is Greg Rucka, he really gets that character. And a lot of times what they do with black superheroes is they put a black person on the book, but a lot of times readers and fans don't know who that person is. And so it's hard for fans to want to buy a book on a writer and artist that they don't trust or don't know who they are and are skeptical, and they're already in a position of, do I want to drop a title for the new whatever, whether it be Batwing, Signal, John Stewart Green Lantern book, a Vixen book, a Mr. Terrific book, and a lot of times fans don't show up because there's not a creative team on the character that they like. I know a lot of people who like, a handful of black characters, but then they don't read those books because there's not really a creative that they're excited about, and it's hard to ask fans to buy into a new book when they're probably already maxed out on their budget. And so if and here's the thing, a lot of and so not only is it the fans' fault for not showing up, but it's also DC's fault for not putting a creative team on there that gets fans excited, making them go, okay, I want to buy this book because this team is on it, right? So the Signal book came out with Scott Snyder, but it was only 4 issues and then it just ended. They didn't have faith in Signal. And I've always liked the character. I think he looks awesome. Yellow is my favorite color. And so seeing the yellow Batman Power Rangers vibe with a Daredevil vibe, it just looks great. And there's so much potential with that character because he's Batman. He's the guardian, the Gotham Guardian protector of the day. And I feel like there's so much opportunity of story that could be told about Gotham in the daytime. And DC just doesn't do anything with him. He's just there in the background when they need to do a Batman family group shot. You know, that's what he's there for. And that sucks. That really sucks. And I really, really like Luke Fox. I always get Duke and Luke jumbled in my brain. I really like Batwing. The idea that he's an MMA fighter for a living who then fights bad guys in a robot suit is awesome to me. I love that idea. But then DC just decided they were going to try to just turn him into Black Robert Downey Jr. Iron Man. And I thought that was stupid. And that didn't work. And they don't do anything with him after that. They throw him in Justice League Odyssey, and he's here and there, but nothing ever comes of it. And then the same goes with like Green Lantern. John can carry his own book. Everyone knows Jon Stewart, but Jon Stewart doesn't get his own book. And it's because they don't put creatives on there that people want to read. Like, you know, Philip Kennedy Johnson, cool, but let it go on for a while. Why does it only a miniseries? Like, no one wants to invest into a miniseries for a short period of time. Be like, hey, here's a Vixen story written by Paul Dini with art by, I don't know, say Pepe Larraz. You know, people are excited about. Like, get a creative team that fans go, oh yeah, this is the guy. This is you know, just like a Vixen book would sell. People like Vixen. I like Vixen. I think she's probably my favorite Black woman DC character. But they don't do anything with her. She's just there in the background. So it's not the problem's not as simple as like DC doesn't do anything with Black characters, but it's also the problem is that fans don't show up when there is a Black superhero book. And Batwing is a perfect example. It is a Bat title with a Black character, and nobody showed up. And then they tried it again with Signal, and nobody showed up. And then they did it again with Jace, and nobody showed up. I didn't show up for Jace because I didn't care, because it wasn't a character I'd already liked. And I wasn't ready to invest in a new character that felt like he was going to go away real quick because the other 2 characters I already liked went away and kind of just became characters in the background. So DC needs to do something as well as the fans. And over on the Marvel side, that's a whole nother thing. So maybe that's another video that I'm going to make. But what do you guys think? What Black characters do you like? What Black characters do you want to have an ongoing series? And who do you think would be great on those books? I would love if Jeff Johns came back to do something with Jon Stewart. I would love if Scott Snyder did something with the Signal. He created him and did nothing with him. Like, guys, what can we please get a Jimmy Palmiotti and Batwing again? Can we get something good? All right, thanks for watching. Catch you guys on the next one. Peace.